Welcome to GoMoksh. Today we have Pratibodhananda with us. So Pratibodhananda, how did you actually meet Amma?
Namaste to all the audience of GoMoksh, and thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast, Siri. Firstly, I would like to appreciate each and every person who is working hard behind this podcast as to take the true spiritual knowledge among the youngsters. Now, coming down to your question, how I met Amma. I happen to be a very calm and settled child since my childhood, and more than playing or more than adventurous activities, I have been always interested in mythology or stories and lots of literature and academics, no doubt about it. So, in my eighth grade, I suppose my maternal aunt, takes me to a Guruji who happens to be a Sri Vidya Upasaka and a Kriya Yogi by himself. And I fell in love with the practices of the Abhisheka that happened to the Sri Chakra Archana, the chanting of Lalita Sahasranamam. And then slowly it so happened that I was initiated by that Guruji, slowly as it happens with all small children of the households where spiritual and religious activities happens. It was definitely a season of spring in my life wherein I got too many opportunities as to indulge in such sort of activities. I remember both the Navaratris were very spectacular because we used to get chance to participate in the Alankara of the Devi in the ashrama, and no doubt I actually fall lack of words to explain those days. And from my seventh grade to 12th grade, it happened so, and it was really enjoyable. We used to get lots of lessons from the Sri Vidya, from the Lalitopakyana. At the same time, a few stories of Mahavatar Babaji as well. And I was very unfortunate to lose my Guruji when I was in 12th grade. I remember it's the month of January. On way back to Hyderabad from their religious trip, I lost my Guruji in an accident. And all of a sudden, there was lots of gap. All of a sudden, there was lots of silence in my life. Because as a person who has been taken to an ashrama at a very early age, what happened is I was, constantly lectured, or I was constantly, given the lessons step by step, wherein I didn't have to suffer or struggle a lot like the spiritual practitioners of these days, because I had a source. He used to guide me properly. For any doubt that I have got, I could easily approach him, and my Guruji used to guide me. Now there is that gap in my life, that too especially when I am a 12th grader. You are into adolescence, you have lots of thoughts coming into your mind. You're also preoccupied with lots of other goals that you have got in your life. And then observing me that I am slowly getting into the state of depression, my mother, who has never motivated, or who has never encouraged me for going to an ashrama, started finding a guru for me. But I was actually a bit skeptical about it, because I always wanted to have only one guru in my life. I never believed in going to different gurus, or I never encouraged even other practitioners of my age to go to different gurus, because they were also in search of gurus. And I believe that always there is a connectivity in between you and your guru, which you cannot find with other gurus when you actually keep on changing the gurus. So when my mother has started finding a guru for me, she took me to different ashramas, she took me to different places, she took me to different people who belong to different paramparas. Now, as I told earlier, we belong to a particular parampara, which is the Sri Vidya parampara and Kriya Yoga. I couldn't actually digest what all was happening. I mean, as I said, it's a purely connectivity. I couldn't connect with the practices, I couldn't connect with the lessons, or I couldn't connect with the discourses which were being done over there. And I believe 1 year passed, and already that particular year when my Guruji passed, we couldn't celebrate the Guru Purnima because technically Guruji was not there in a physical form. A Pada Puja, which happens in all the ashramas, I'm pretty much sure that you might be aware about it. And again, the Guru Purnima was approaching, and this time also there is, there are no lotus feet of my Guru so that I can go and do the Pada Puja. And I was now getting more and more depressed. And I believe it was the earlier days of the month of Ashadha. The Ashadha Navaratris were going on, and one person who is a common person known to us and Ammaji approaches my mother, stating that there is one Ammaji residing at so and so place. Looking at your son, I believe that she is the right person whom you can take your son to, and I am pretty much sure that she can guide your son as well. And initially, I was a bit apprehensive about it. I didn't want it to go. As I told you, I only wanted to have one guru. And my mother has been to Ammaji's place, and I suppose she has explained everything to her. And I got a call from Ammaji, just a casual call. How are you, beta? What are you doing? How are you feeling these days? All such sort of basic conversation, first time conversation that happens between two people. And then I felt really good. I felt really calm. I felt really a bit happy. That sense of emotion, I lack of, I fall, I can't explain it in my own words to you, because for 1 year or 1.5 year, you have been struggling without a person to guide you. And all of a sudden, you hear to a voice, and that voice is very much soothing for you. And so a few days passed by, and one day I have decided I need to go and meet her. So I went. I suppose I was in my graduation, first year of graduation or something. I went to her. She was sitting. As soon as open the doors of the house, you can see Ammaji sitting right in front of you. She was sitting, and the posture, everything felt very common with the ashrama where I used to initially go. And after going there, I forgot this thing that I have been struggling for the last few years, and also that I have been in search of a guru. I had lots of pain. So I forgot all these things. And as soon as I went, I felt very calm, soothing, and a sense of happiness is what I felt over there. And I could talk to Ammaji. And that's when slowly I started feeling that maybe this is the right place I had to come to, and maybe this is the right feat wherein I have to surrender myself. And after that, I went back home, and that night I had a vision. And in that vision, my late Guruji is coming, and he is telling me, or he is showing me that the Ammaji whom you have met in the morning is the Guru that you have to surrender yourself to. And in that vision, I have also seen Ammaji placing an emerald Shivalinga into my hands. And after that vision, I felt that yes, this is the person, this is my Guru now, whom I have to go and surrender to. And then the very next day, I have rushed to Ammaji's place, and I said that, Ammaji, I just want to surrender myself at your golden feet. And I believe that you are the Guru whom I have been destined to come and surrender myself to. And she was very sweet, and she accepted as soon as I said that. And I was then initiated by Ammaji slowly into the same parampara which we have been following. So that I was so fortunate that only 1 year without the Pada Puja of Guru I had to survive. That Ashadha we could celebrate with much pomp and happiness. The very, good celebration we have had of Guru Purnima in Ammaji's residence. So this is how I met Ammaji, and that is how the episode of meeting Ammaji in my life has happened.
As you said, you were apprehensive about accepting another guru. Can you clearly tell us about what signs you have come across to taking this decision before you surrendered yourself to Ammaji?
That's a very good question, Siri. I should really appreciate you for asking that question because there are many audience of GoMoksh who are spiritual seekers. So this would be really useful to them. I would really like to express this. When you are in a search of Guru, as I told earlier, you feel that connectivity in between the person who is destined to be your Guru and yourself, and there are many things that happens in this course of getting connected to that particular guru. So as I told earlier, I had a vision of my earlier guru directing me towards Ammaji. At the same time, this is a very I should say surprising event or something like that, that my guruji always used to hold a danda in his hand. Now, this danda is a piece of wood, a log of wood, I should say. Most of the gurus, spiritual gurus, they hold a danda in their hand. And this is basically made in wood, or it's not made, it's something naturally that you get. And many a times this is passed on from generation to generation. Like you get from your guru and you give it to your disciple. That's how it happens. And this is a very different danda, because in case of paramparas like Advaita, Advaita, and Vishishtadvaita, the dandas are actually specifically made for the gurus to hold, and they have their own tradition of making them and holding them in their hand. But this particular danda which my guruji had, it is in the shape of a snake. It's a very big long wood sort of thing, and it's really beautiful, soft, and towards the edge of the log you have a hood of the snake, and actually it has that curvature on its body. It exactly look like a snake. And this particular danda was completely plated in gold, and it was kept as a sign of blessings besides our guruji, for all the disciples to go and take guruji's blessings as well as the danda. Now, when you asked me what was the sign exactly that you had when you felt that you got connected with Ammaji, after I had the vision, the very next day when I went to Ammaji's house, probably Ammaji was doing her puja or something, and I had to wait in the hall. So even today, if you enter the hall, you have like a statue of Lord Krishna. And in those days, there was a statue of Lord Shiva also. And in front of that, there is a vase sort of thing in which you find many peacock feathers, some sort of fancy things. And this, there was a, wooden log which I found over there, and it exactly seemed to be the one which my Guruji had. I was really awestruck. Maybe I had a sense of doubt even then, even after getting the vision, also. Maybe I had a sense of doubt, and my Guruji has created the circumstance in such a way that I will take a look at that particular danda. Otherwise, why would something which is basically made in wooden, which is lying amidst all these peacock feathers and all, catch my eyes? It doesn't happen, right? So I strictly believe that there is the blessings and hands of my Guruji in me taking a look at it. And after looking at that, I was deeply in my thoughts. I was thinking, what is this doing here? This looks exactly same like the one which was with my Guruji and all. And then I confirmed that this is the next sign that my Guruji is showing me, as to surrender myself to Ammaji as her disciple. So it's another wonderful episode that I have had as an experience while going to Ammaji. And then Ammaji came out finishing all her works, and then I spoke to her. This is how it is. I had a vision of my Guruji, and I am pretty much sure that it's my Guruji and the Paramagurus who are in our parampara has directed me towards you. Kindly accept me as your disciple. And then the uh, flow went like that.
Have
Yes.
you ever tried asking Amma where did she get that danda from?
Yeah. So I didn't ask this question very immediately. So after that came the Guru Paurnami and all, and it went on like that. So after few days, I used to constantly visit Ammaji's house, and because my college was also very nearby to Ammaji's house, and as graduates, we had to go for the classes only till the afternoon. So once I finish my classes, I used to go to Ammaji weekly twice, or initially I used to go thrice also. So I used to go, I used to sit nearby her, I used to watch people coming, seeking answers for their questions, and it was really an interesting factor, you know, like I could see that flow of energy from Ammaji into the people. And after many days, when there was no one, only it was me and Ammaji who were sitting and conversing. So I asked this question, may I know where did you get this danda from? Because one such sort of danda was there with my Guruji as well. So Ammaji explained me the story this way, that it so happened that uh, 3 or 4 months before I visited Ammaji's residence for the first time, they went to a place called Pachmadi. Pachmadi is somewhere in Madhya Pradesh, and you know you have this temple. It's a cave temple basically. It's called as Bade Mahadev Temple. It's a cave temple, and it is located exactly amidst the lush green forest, and you have many monkeys over there, and it's a beautiful place, and you should actually go you know, like many steps, you have to walk many steps down as if you are going into the patala, you know, and there you have the shivalinga, and you have to worship Swami over there, and you have to come back again. So went there along with her family, children, and other family members also, and they had a darshan there. And as usual, when there is a lush green forest around you and there are too many things to explore, children get involved in that, and Ammaji happens to sit under a tree. So because she went down and she climbed back again, so just she wanted to rest for some time, and she came and she sat under a tree. And even today, when I try to explain the story to people, you know, like Ammaji's this thing comes in front of me, I can feel it even today when I'm explaining you also. I can feel that the way she was expressing this incident to me, when she sat under a tree, all of a sudden she felt that something was moving. So there are many dry leaves and all, anything can be there. It's a forest, it can be a reptile, it can be anything, you know, it can be a snake, something poisonous, venomous, isn't it? So she became cautious for a while and she started searching, what is that moving around me? But then she found nothing, and again she was sitting just like that. She felt maybe it is something, it can be a lizard also, unnecessarily I'm worried. And after some time, again she felt that something was moving, and this time the sound made was a bit bigger, I suppose. And when she was trying to observe that there is something over there, she saw that it's a piece of wood, basically a stick sort of thing. Most of its parts are covered with leaves, and she had to hold it and she had to pick and see what this is actually. And this is a stick, so she threw it there again. And after some time, she observed that it was talking to Ammaji. Can you believe a piece of wood talking to you? Then ask me, can such sort of things happen in the world?
Exactly. That's everybody would ask the same question.
Yes, it can happen, because India is such sort of a country wherein there are many sadhakas. Especially Pachmadi is a place with lots of spiritual vibrations. You don't know, there might be saints, you know, like living in the heart of the jungle, praying, doing their tapasya and all. So obviously, each and every part of this place, it becomes, you know, like a highly elevated spiritual soul. Isn't it? There's a saying, no, kankar kankar mein shankar hota hai. Isn't it?
True.
The same way, even it might have spiritual vibrations, isn't it? So it started speaking, and it started speaking, and for a while, Ammaji felt that maybe this is my Brahma, or maybe this is, I'm just feeling, but it is not true. Okay, maybe in my subconscious mind something is happening, and this is not true. But again and again it was telling to Ammaji, take me along with you, take me along with you. And soon Ammaji got into a conversation with her extended family. And when she got a support from them stating that if you feel that you want to, you have to take it along with you, then you have to take it. And Ammaji wrapped it very well in papers. And you know how it came, that wooden log, it came in first class AC compartment on a berth, kept on a berth, and she brought it to Hyderabad and she kept it there. And after that, there was nothing. And after me going there and after watching it, and when I spoke about it to Ammaji, that there was a wooden, like danda with my Guruji like this, Ammaji tells me this story, and that is when I got rooted into this belief that no doubt Ammaji is my Guru, whom I have been directed to by my late Guru. That's how it is. So this is the story of the danda.
That's great. I guess it wraps everything that you wanted to
Yeah,
do.
you should also visit Pachmadi sometime.
It's amazing because through your story, we have understood how actually gurus use certain props to guide their disciples. And to question you about this, how did you get the name Pratibodhananda from Ravikant?
Oh, that's completely uh, an accept that is related to the parampara. So it so happens that when you are practicing in one parampara under one particular guru, uh, it like after few years, this spiritual progress is not something that happens over the night. Okay, you need lots of practice, and during that practice you will have many experiences. From those experiences you will learn something new, and again you will apply that, and all these things happen, this complete triangle is happening under the guidance and with the blessings of the person whom we are terming as guru. Okay, so after few years of practice, it depends from parampara to parampara. It is believed that after 12 years of spiritual practices, complete surrender, and once your Guruji observe you for these 12 years, how your spiritual practice has been, are you the right person to be given with a name so that you become an example for other disciples and aspirants of that parampara. Also, it's a sort of completeness a spiritual practitioner gets once you are given a name, and this name is called as a Diksha Namam, which means you have been given or you have been blessed with this name after the Diksha that you get from your Guruji. Okay, and it differs from parampara to parampara. Okay, so as I told you, I already had a Guruji earlier whom I lost, and after that I have been to Ammaji, and I was blessed enough that I could get into many spiritual practices under Ammaji, like meditation or certain things which should happen as per the paramparas. The I mean, every parampara has got its own timetable that a person has to follow. Okay, so after practicing all those things, once it so happened that I expressed this to Ammaji. I was a person very much keen about literature. I used to read about different paramparas also. I was a rigorous, what do we say, a person who tried to do research on Adi Shankaracharya's parampara, because I hail from Kerala, and also our Guruji also, he also came from one particular parampara. So I used to observe, I used to read about all these things, and I used to go and ask my doubts to Ammaji. So after I completed my 12 years, it so happened that I went and I asked Ammaji about this. Ammaji, I have completed 12 years of spiritual practices. It so happens that disciples are given with the Diksha Namam, and what is that Diksha Namam is that I am getting, and there was no clue, and this hasn't happened earlier. I mean, no disciple has got in our parampara a Diksha Namam. And Ammaji looked at me, and she was thinking. After that, we have had very less conversations. After that, we have had very less conversations, and after that conversation ends there, and we started preparing ourselves for the upcoming Guru Paurnami. Okay, and things are happening. We are sending messages, and we are in preparations of Guru Paurnami, and even this went out of my mind. This question, it just happened, on a basic conversation note. And that day, early in the morning, I went to Ammaji because we have to start with the preparations. And Ammaji called me. I mean, after Ammaji finishing all her Abhisheka and all, she sits in her place where she regularly sits. And I went and I took the blessings, first blessings of Guru Purnami. And she said that I am naming you as Pratibodhananda today. And the name Pratibodhananda means the person who happens to give inputs to others, or who guides others as a part of his duty, or as a blessing of his gurus, and as a blessing of the parampara from which he is coming from. That is what Prati Bodhananda means. Prati Bodhananda, a person who shares his knowledge with others. That's how I have been. And that day, after all the disciples came, after the Pada Puja and all, it has been told to everyone that from today onwards, Ravikant will be called as Pratibodhananda. This is the story of me becoming Pratibodhananda from Ravi.
That's great. That's actually nice. And I guess that's it for the conversation that we can talk about. So stay tuned, because divinity shall continue. Because every soul whispers, and every soul whispers.